Welcome to Turbo Enterprise, your key to winning the rich web app race. In this video, we'll show how you can build rich web applications in a few simple steps using Turbo Enterprise. Developing is easy. A complete library of application programming interfaces, or APIs, has been built into Turbo. All you need to do is call these APIs using PL SQL. Turbo applications deliver the security, usability, and efficiency your enterprise demands. Just use our roadmap. Render the form, retrieve data from your table, receive data from the GUI, and load it into the DML. As you can see, Turbo uses a purpose-built schema design to separate the three main layers: login, UI, and DML. We will refer to the UI layer as the app web schema and to the DML layer as the app data schema. Let's build a Salesforce.com-like application we'll call Pipeline using our roadmap. We'll build a data entry form, load data into the form, and save data from the form. We'll start by defining a new application using the Turbo Application Wizard. Enter a name for your application. Select from the list of available features that you can add and submit your application. The Application Wizard has created all the necessary code packages in the App Data and App Web database schemas, along with the appropriate grants, synonyms, and application access control lists. Refresh your browser to view your newly started application. The wizard has created your header, application buttons, navigation tree, footer section, and start your work area with toolbars, tabs, and a form. Let's take a look at the starter code generated for your application. Access Turbo's app web schema through your favorite SQL editing tool and navigate to your application's package created by the wizard. Open the package body and select the procedure that renders your default form. Turbo has provided you a default set of parameters as part of the page initialization procedure. You can easily modify these parameters to dynamically interact with your form. You also have some basic toolbar buttons to perform the save and close, and reset functions. You can add additional buttons according to your application's needs. Now let's add some input fields to your form. Continuing your form's procedure to the page start and page end procedures provided by the Application Wizard. This is where you will add your form elements. You can add additional tabs by using the procedures provided to create and open a tab. Let's modify the name of the default field group for your application and replace the starter sample code to add additional customer data fields. Turbo has provided you with some default fields. Create additional fields such as email inputs, date inputs, and customer notes. When you are done, close out your field group and compile your code. Your form will now show all the new fields you added. You've created your first rich web app form. Now, let's populate it with data from an existing customer table. Turbo follows the Model View Control design principle to keep the application and UI code separate from the data. Therefore, we have placed our customer table in the app data schema. We will now create a function to retrieve the customer data and pass it to the app web schema for presentation in the browser. In the rendering procedure, insert a call to the customer retrieval function. For now, we will hardcode a customer ID to retrieve and display data for a specific record in your form. We've shown you a simple example of retrieving data from the database and displaying it in your form. Since Turbo resides inside the Oracle database, it can run all the simple and complex queries that Oracle already handles. Wherever you have your data, connect it here and make it easily accessible to your web form. Now that we've created a form and displayed real data, let's create a procedure to save the form data. Going back to the page initialization procedure, we'll set the iFormProc parameter to let the application know where to send the data from the form page. In this case, when the Save button is clicked, the application will send the data to our receiving procedure. To pass the saved form data to the receiving procedure, modify it to handle all the fields from your pipeline web form. You are free to add business rules in the receiving procedure or in the data manipulation layer according to your design preferences. Business rule processing includes data validation, filtering, cleansing, as well as calling other procedures and functions. Now let's send the data to the DML procedure to load it. In your DML procedure, you can use any of the Oracle DML statements to process your data. You are on the road to success. You've rendered a web form, retrieved data, received data, and loaded it to the DML. Now that we've shown you the Turbo roadmap, you are well on your way to building a full-blown application with Turbo Enterprise. You can enhance your application in many ways. Add interactive features, manage security through access control lists, add dynamic groups with customizable enterprise social networking tools, convert legacy Oracle Forms applications, and more. Watch more Turbo Enterprise videos to learn how you can win the rich web app race.